Let's not get carried away with dual threat, Lamar, Kyler type of
Josh
athleticism.
Allen,
No.
All right, moving on. Jaguars all-pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey wants out of Jacksonville. The asking price is climbing with a recent report that the Jags want 2 first-round picks. See, is Jalen Ramsey worth the haul?
No. I wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks for him. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't, because they're going to be stuck. They're in a predicament. What are they going to do? All right, they're going to have to get rid of Jacksonville. So no, I wouldn't panic. The Texans panic on Tunsil. So the asking price now for premier players is up. I'm guaranteeing you Jacksonville take a 1 and something. Well, okay, I ain't giving them 2 number 2s.
The Tunsil thing totally skewed the market. Steve's exactly right. When Tunsil, who is a good but not a great left tackle, goes for 2 1s and a 2 on the exact same pay scale as Jalen, guy awaiting the next big contract, it skews it for everyone.
Tunsil in his exit meeting with the general manager of the Dolphins said, for 2 number 1s, I trade myself.
Yeah,
they had a real conversation.
But the other point here is it does depend on all number 1s are not created equal. If you're a team that thinks you're going to go to the Super Bowl, that number 1 is the 30th, 31st, 32nd pick, something like that, then I could do 2 number 1s potentially for a player of his caliber.
All right, moving on. The Patriots are placing starting left tackle Isaiah Wynn on IR again, this time with a foot injury he suffered in week 2. This will sideline Tom Brady's blindside protector for at least 8 weeks. Keep in mind, he spent all of last season on IR as well with a torn Achilles. See, you expect the Patriots' O-line issues to catch up to them?
Oh, this is the biggest question in New England. How will they resolve the offensive line? Now, we know Dante Scarnecchia, one of the most respected, Coach Mangini, one of his friends. He is a great coach. But, man, you need some type of talent. You know they were desperate before the season started. Last week of training camp, last week of the preseason, they trade a 3rd, trade a 6th for a couple offensive linemen. I mean, they are searching. And then they lose their prospect that they drafted last year, losing him. Yes, this is not the way they come. They've added AB, but it's not going to matter too much if they can't protect them. So this is the weakest unit. If they are not able to get to Super Bowl 54 in Miami, it will be because Tom Brady either got injured or this offensive line is not able to create balance or protection that the Pats need.
The right tackle missed week 2. The center's out for the year. The left tackle's now on IR. By the way, this also speaks to why Belichick's draft strategy has always been accumulate as many picks as possible. His first-round pick last year, Isaiah Wynn, missed last season on the IR again. His first-round pick this year, N'Keal Harry, on the IR for the year. These young players, it's such a crapshoot even if they're first-round talents. But this is a huge issue for New England, no matter how good that offensive line coach is.
All right, moving on to the now. Bad news and worse news. Which do you guys want first? I'm going to decide. We'll start bad news. They've started the season 0-2. The worst news, they might be without all-pro quarterback Cam Newton for a must-win Week 3 matchup on the road against the Cardinals. Cam's Sunday status unclear after aggravating the left foot, which he sprained in the preseason. CeCe, what do you make of Cam's struggle with injuries?
Well, I mean, the injury, if it had been to his shoulder, if he had been staying in the pocket and scrambled out of the pocket, took off running and got injured trying to be an athletic quarterback, being a dual threat quarterback, I might have a problem with it. But I don't have a problem with him coming back from the shoulder issues that he had, getting work done on that, changing his fundamentals, and getting his foot hurt in the preseason. There's nothing he can do about that. That offensive line being bad, that's what got his foot hurt. One of the worst times to get hurt is get nicked in the preseason, because for the most of the season, 3 quarters, you're going to be injured. So you know, for the most part, I'm not going to be healthy this year. That was the thing that I was worried about. So I was worried, are we really going to see the conversion in his passing? Because with his foot and with foot injuries, they're really they're the hardest to be able to diagnose, and they're the hardest to be able to guesstimate when the player will come back. Why? It's the poorest circulation you have in your body. It's the furthest from your heart. And you got to be on your feet all day. So that was a tremendous setback for them when he had the sprain of his foot. It's his lead leg. Your lead leg is going to guide the ball where it's going. So it's in his left foot. People said, well, it shouldn't affect his passing. Everywhere you step, you push off your back, but your front foot is your lead foot. It's your guide. It guides your left foot and your left arm. It's going to guide you where you're going to throw. So if you can't come down on that foot, as you can see in last week's game, that was not Cam Newton. If you watched that game and didn't think there must be something wrong with him, because there's no way Cam woke up that morning and forgot how to throw the football. So it's a significant injury, and that's what Aaron Rodgers, he got nicked in last year in the first game. It hampered him all year. Cam Newton, it's just a little bit different. Last preseason game he played in, he gets nicked in that. It affects him in week number 1 and definitely affected him in week number 2.
Well, and for Cam, you mentioned how the foot injury can affect his passing ability. It also clearly has removed any faith the team has in him running the football and any faith he has in running the football. He has 5 carries for -2 yards this year. Cam has never been, even the MVP season, he was not one of the 3 best pure passers in football. He was a good enough down the field passer when you add to it the fact that he is such a dynamic running threat, the most consistently effective running quarterback we've ever had, that he can be a great player. But who is Cam Newton in his career without his nearly 5,000 rushing yards and 58 rushing touchdowns? The answer would be an average or below average quarterback. It's when you add that element to his passing, which can be hit or miss, he can become an excellent quarterback. With the foot injury, he clearly doesn't have any faith running the football. And so he's coming off the shoulder surgery. Now he's dealing with the foot injury, and you're seeing it. That didn't look like Cam Newton. It didn't look anything like Cam Newton, and they didn't call the game like they had Cam Newton as their quarterback.
So is the team doing Cam a disservice? They keep throwing him back out there knowing he's not playing well, no, he's not 100%, knowing he has, what, 5 carries for -2 yards?
Players going to play. The organization doesn't have a choice.
Even if it hurts the team?
Yeah, that's what the history of this league is about. The best players are going to play. The backup's not better than Cam, all right? Cam has been a superstar in this league, has been an MVP in this league. We see it all the time. Aaron Rodgers last year, their season, right? What happened? He couldn't get any better, but they kept putting him out there. That's the sport, Jenna. Like, you're not going to take a superstar off the field if he wants to be out there. You think Carolina, you think they think they're better without Cam Newton?
Well, now, listen, through 2 weeks, no. But given the fact that he re-aggravated the injury in week 2, now I think he might be taken off the field because he's hurt worse than he was at the beginning of the season.
But it's going to be him taking himself off. Cam reported to them, I don't know that I can go. It wasn't the team released something and said, you know something, we don't know if Cam's going to be able to go. It was the player.
He came up lame when he was trying to, he re-aggravated the foot injury, it looked like, on an overthrow to Greg Olsen. And he just, from that up to that moment in the game, if that is when he got hurt, he was 7 of 8, I think, passing. And it was after that all of a sudden all the throws were off. He wasn't running the ball at all. And now the Panthers, by the way, clearly were at least somewhat concerned about Cam's health. That's why they spent their 3rd-round pick on Will Grier. They're just, to me, they are in a very tough spot with Cam. His contract comes up after the end of next season. They have used him like a running back to a degree.
And you they're paying the price?
Absolutely. He threw 120, up until the TJ Watt hit, Chris, 120 career games eligible, played 117 of them. TJ Watt hit happens. He probably should have been shelved earlier than he was. Now the foot injury. Now all of a sudden it's an injury on an injury. The effectiveness has absolutely been removed from his game. And now who are the Carolina Panthers without a dynamic dual threat Cam Newton at quarterback? The answer is an 0-2 football team.
Yeah, we can't blame Carolina for his overall health. We got to remove that. If Cam had improved in the passer on his own, he wouldn't have to run as much. All right, as a player, the most effective way to win is look at the player's tools. What does he provide us, gives us a chance to win? They had to utilize his running skills because those were better than his passing skills. So Cam Newton, that's the reason why he ends up like that, was because early in his career, he didn't develop as a passer because he relied on his body. But I've heard it said on TV recently, you don't see old scrambling quarterbacks. You don't see old running quarterbacks, all right? Because you're going to get injured. Because once you leave the pocket, the rules are back to you're a normal player. You're protected in the pocket. So that's the reason why ultimately you